5 years after the COVID-19 pandemic, the migration patterns in India have seen the significant shifts. While rural to urban migration has resumed, international e-migration has diversified. Understanding these trends and improving migration governance is crucial to addressing the migrant challenge and maximizing the benefits of migrations. Now, what are the key migration trends post-COVID in India? What are the key migration trends? Number one is the urban to rural migration. The COVID-19 crisis caused unprecedented urban to rural reverse migration, with 44.13 million moving from urban areas to rural regions during the first lockdown and 26.3 million moving in the second. The returning migrants, primarily low-skilled workers, faced wage theft, food insecurity, lack of health care, discrimination, economic strain, and unemployment as the urban jobs disappeared. Another migration is rebound of rural to urban migration. Rural economies failed to absorb the returning workforce as inadequate employment, the low wages, and urban aspiration pushed migrants back to cities. The Smart Cities missions aim to develop 100 cities into modern urban hubs, relies heavily on migrant labor, is encouraging urban migration. According to Economic Survey 23-24, it is expected that by 2030, more than 40% of India's population will reside in urban areas. Then comes climate-induced migration. Climate change is influencing aspirational and distress migration, especially from agrarian states like Odisha. So there is a climate-induced migration. Then there has been an international migration shift. During COVID-19, Indian e-migrants faced job losses, wage cuts, poor healthcare access, yet remittances remained strong, accompanied by growing global demand for Indian healthcare workers. Post-COVID, many Indian migrants shifted from Gulf to advanced economies for better opportunities. Indians are exploring Europe via the EU Blue Card program in 2023 for skilled professionals and Africa for opportunities in IT and manufacturing. The Canada's express entry and Australia's immigration policies attracted the skilled Indian professionals, offering high-paying jobs and boosting remittances over $118.7 billion in 23-24. Then student migration. Student migration surged post-pandemic, with Kerala student immigrants doubling from 1.29 lakh in 2018 to 2.5 lakh in 2023. Education-related remittance peaked at $3,171 million in 2021, reflecting a rise in international study trends. Now, what are the challenges in migration governance? There is inadequate migration data system. Delayed census 2021. The census 2021 has been delayed, and outdated migration figures limit the policy planning. The periodic Law Force Survey PLFS 2021 recorded a migration rate of 28.9%, a marginal increase from 28.5% recorded in 2007-2008. However, this data collected during the COVID-19 migration flux fails to reflect the long-term trends. The Ministry of External Affairs data tends to underestimate the number of immigrants, especially temporary and seasonal migrants. Additionally, illegal migration via donkey routes remain unaccounted for in official records. Then, weak implementation of Social Security Scheme. E-Shram Portal 2021, aimed to cover unorganized workers, suffers from low awareness and digital exclusion. Then, One Nation, One Ration Card (ONRC), aimed at food security for migrants, but large sections remain uncovered. The weak implementation of Interstate Migrant Workmen's Act 1979, leaves many workers unregistered and unprotected due to inadequate monitoring and unlicensed contractors. The new four labor codes introduced in 2020 aim to expand migrant worker protection but face delays in rule framing and enforcement. Then limited portability of entitlements. Migrants often lose access to state-specific schemes when moving to other regions. Despite ONORC and Ayushman Bharat, interstate policy harmonization remains weak. Then neglect of vulnerable groups. Women and children are often overlooked in migration policies. Women face risks like trafficking and exploitation, while migrant children suffer from disrupted education, poor health care, which increases their chance of being marginalized and mistreated. Then weak protection of low-skilled migrants. Gulf nationalization policies reduce job opportunity, while low-skilled migrants face poor working conditions and wage theft. There are gaps in providing adequate skilling and pre-departure orientation for immigrants, which affect their preparedness and safety abroad. Then limited role of local governance. Panchayats often lack the mandate, resources and capacity to support migrant population. Climate-induced migration overlooked. Migration due to climate stress, for example flood, droughts, sea level rise, is not recognized in disaster or climate adaptation policies. This leads to policy neglect for communities undergoing distress-induced mobility. Then stigma and discrimination. Migrants often face xenophobia, cultural alienation and lack of social inclusion, especially in destination cities. Now, how can India strengthen its migration governance? Number 1. National migration data models. Kerala migration surveys provide robust data shaping better policies. States like Odisha, Tamil Nadu, Gujarat and Punjab are replicating this model. A national level adoption could standardize and enhance migration governance. National migration policy. Exped Niti Ayog's draft national policy on migrant workers, which focuses on their overall development. Consider formulating a unified framework addressing both internal and international migration, ensuring interministerial coordination with rights-based and gender-sensitive provisions. Then enhance international migration framework, expand labor mobility agreements with emerging destinations in European Union and Africa. The India Center for Migration, the research think tank of Ministry of External Affairs, can help to strengthen pre-departure orientation training, that is PDOT, and skill building programs, aligning them with destination-specific demands. Improve social security access and portability. Implement the Code on Social Security 2020 effectively to ensure coverage of all unorganized and migrant workers, including the interstate portability benefits. Ensure portability of entitlements, ration, health insurance and pensions across states via digital platform. Establish one-stop migration facilitation center in urban clusters for enrollment, legal aid and grievance redressal.